We're talking Lead-Deadwood Youth Baseball with their director, Taylor Ballert. This program has really grown.
Yeah, thanks, Dwight, for having me. The Lead-Deadwood Baseball Association has really grown significantly in the past few years. Our numbers have gone up about 25% just in the last 3 years, possibly even more. We anticipate to have over 100 kids in the program from T-ball through high school on 5 different levels of play on at least 8 different teams. So we're really excited to continue our Cal Ripken charter with the other local teams in the Black Hills, Spearfish, Sturgis, and Belle Fourche. I made contact with Hot Springs today, so we're going to be playing Hot Springs for the first time in a few years. We're really excited about that. And then our high school team, once again, has over 30 kids on it between 7th grade and seniors. So we're planning on having basically 3 teams of 11, a C team, which is like a freshman team, a JV team, and a varsity team this year. And then all of that together, something that we've really been working on. For the first time since 2017, we're planning on having American Legion post-31 baseball in Lead-Deadwood. So that's coming down the road, and we're really excited to have that this summer.
And coaches for those teenage teams, guys we're all familiar with.
Yeah, the coaches are all returning. Every coach that we had last year is returned again this year for every age group from T-ball up. For the high school team, the 3 main coaches are Bob Nelson Jr., Kyle Quema, and Dennis Smith, who have all been running the program and coaching for the past few years. Bob and Dennis for a long time. Kyle's starting to jump into the role of coaching high school, and he is slated to be the post-31 coach this summer.
Taylor, for those familiar with the young kids, talk a little bit more about that Cal Ripken age group.
Yeah, so 2 summers ago, we decided to recharter with Cal Ripken Baseball. It is basically a subsidy of Babe Ruth Baseball. It runs parallel to Little League. But the thing that Cal Ripken does that's a little different than Little League is it does 2 things for us. One is it benefits the smaller schools. So you can basically play in tournaments with the team that you start the season with. So you don't necessarily create an all-star team, even though you can. It seemed like a better fit for just the Black Hills in general, so we don't have to compete against the big towns like Rapid City and Sioux Falls. But the other thing that it does is it adds a new level of linear progression. So something I've talked about before, T-ball is the ball stays in one spot and a kid learns to hit the ball that doesn't move. The next step that Cal Ripken brings is machine pitch, and the machine pitch is a consistent pitch, but the ball crosses the plate in the same spot every time. So that's the next step. The third step is minors, which is the same. That's a 9 and 10-year-old group. That's when we start to get into the player pitch. So kids are starting to learn, and they run on 60-foot bases. And then when you get to majors, which is 11 and 12, we actually move the base to 70 feet from 60 feet, and they allow for you to have a leadoff runner. And what that does is instead of going from 60 feet and no leadoff to 90 feet with the leadoff from 12 to 13-year-olds, now you have a middle ground so that instead of making a huge jump, you have a minor, moderate jump so that you can be ready to play 13-year-old high school baseball, basically.
Let's talk about Keene Park right here.
Yeah, so the thing that Lead-Deadwood is unique is that we really only have 2 fields, and they're right here at Keene Park in Deadwood next to the rodeo grounds. And one thing that we really wanted to set out to accomplish this year was to finish this big park, this big field here. And one of the things that we did is we got a grant from the Minnesota Twins that allowed us to purchase all new bases and this custom portable pitching mound that we have behind us. And what this does and with the new bases is we're going to be able to host every level of play on this field in the same day, just by swapping out the base distances and moving the pitching mound on and off the field. We brought in new material. We've brought a laser leveler in, and we re-leveled the field, and we're really excited to see the progress that this field has made just by cutting new lines, putting new bases in, and having this sweet new pitching mound.
When do things get started?
So the cool thing is that our high school team has actually been lucky enough to practice outside already. We have our first high school game scheduled for Thursday, and then our opening day ceremonies for the summer program is going to be May 22nd. And that'll be a joint opening ceremony with softball. But we have our games scheduled to start in mid-May this year, which is a little bit earlier than normal. We're just hoping that the weather can keep up with that and we can continue the season.
I understand you got great concessions here too for the families.
Yeah, why don't we hear from Rob Lester from Gold Star Concessions? He's going to be returning this summer for the first time after a small break, so we're really excited to have him be our concessionaire again.
I'm Rob Lester, and I'm the owner of Gold Star Concessions, and I'm really happy to be back at Lead-Deadwood Baseball. We're doing some new stuff with the concession stand. We do try to be the best around. We try to have a lot of different options. We brought in a couple of new things like bacon cheeseburgers, and we already have like the Big Rob that is kind of fan favorite, but we try to feed these families a little bit different. They spend so much time in these fields. We try to provide some better food options for these families that are staying so long in here, but we do have probably 30 different kinds of candy to go along with that, and we also have mini melts ice cream that we started having last year, 30 different kinds of drinks. So we just want to try and invite everybody to come on out. Don't worry about bringing food. We got plenty of food here, super nachos and all kinds of walking tacos. And so we have lots of different food options, pretzels. So yeah, just come on out and spend some time at the baseball fields.